My name is Vas Giatilis, and I'm Software Development Manager leading 2 agile teams in the public safety solution sector. I have been always fascinated by being creative and innovative, and thus I possess more than 25 patents in various areas such as human-machine interaction, telecommunication, and cybersecurity. In parallel, I participate actively in my local organization's innovations capability and enable more people becoming inventors.
Hello, I am Lampros Pappas. I am a software development manager leading a team of engineers who support an all-in-one telecommunications product. I am a senior Atos expert with a modern applications domain. I am a senior inventor and innovator. By the end of this presentation, you will realize how you can personally embrace curiosity, ignite learning culture in your team, and skyrocket your innovation capability. Before we proceed, let me ask you 3 simple but very interesting questions. Are you ready to risk your career on a destined to fail project? What do you prioritize? Customer delivery or your continuous learning? Did you make a mistake today or you just didn't try enough?
Company culture is defined as the values, ideas, attitudes and goals that characterize an organization. Your company culture is consisted of the crucial intangibles that dictate how your team operates and does business. It becomes part of your organization identity, so deciding which is the governed culture can lead to tremendous effects in productivity, engagement, and finally growth. Scholars Quinn and Cameron defined an organizational culture framework almost 20 years ago. Its culture model accommodates and needs towards organizational effectiveness. This defines 4 quadrants that are mapped in 2-dimensional space. The vertical axis reflects flexibility on the top part and stability in the bottom. Depending on organizational needs, some companies may require being adaptive to changes or follow traditional processes and norms. On the horizontal axis, when a company keeps a vigil internally, it emphasizes on employee development and well-being. Whereas external focus means that the company invests in organization itself towards external success. Clan culture stressing on developing human skills, motivation and involvement, and business or done in collective approach. In hierarchy culture, internal efficiency and coordination is ensured by execution of policies and rules. It emphasizes on stability and control. Customers, suppliers, and so forth are the external environment actors that are in focus in market culture. Leaving aside internal affairs, it portrays a well-defined, objective-driven organization with goal orientation. Adocracy supports the values of an open system model where flexibility and change mentality are observed. Its external focused nature is characterized by a willingness of organizational growth, resource acquisition, and creativity. Due to its cultural characteristics, adocratic organizations often promote fun and learning subcultures. Let's take a deep dive into learning culture. One of the main characteristics in a learning culture is that the organization takes many calculated risks and is committed to experimentation towards innovation. People try new things constantly until they create a far-out masterpiece. They are open-minded and curiosity is dominant. There is really no steady environment, roles, or physical workplace. In fact, even the organizational structure is thin and versatile. This is because the continuously changing external environment adjusts the structural needs of the companies or the projects. There is high anticipation for the future and growth focus. In conclusion, the dominant characteristics are creativity, entrepreneurial mindset, and flexibility.
Let's take a deep dive in how Atos adopts learning culture. Atos envisions that every employee should be fully digitally trained. Atos follows a family culture model where open and continuous learning is being integrated in employees who in turn become Atos ambassadors for learning. This environment underpins the effort for keeping up with the pace things change and furthermore maintain technological advance. In Atos, we are using various resources for supporting this strategy. These are not limited to certification programs, e-learning, and relocation-oriented trainings. All of those are closely monitored by a central application by learning.
Let's examine now some ideas coming from two famous for their learning culture companies. When most people come up with a new idea, they choose not to pursue the idea because if they try something and doesn't work, the setback might damage their career. Thus, employees tend to play to win and only to win. Google takes the opposite direction and starts for playing to fail. When an idea is created, people are trying to find mistakes and close just to kill it. They have the license to fail, and many times they celebrate it or reward it. It is not part of the process, it is in their culture.
Back in 2010, Google establishes a subsidiary called Google X, in which employees are free to make moonshot ideas come true. They are free to tackle the hardest parts first, explore uncomfortable ideas and concepts in order to provoke discussion and debate. Parallel to the fail mentality that we will see more later, learning is supported by volunteer programs consisting of bite-sized lessons which include mentoring, know-how exchange, and acquisition. Lastly, the talent development is underpinned by programs from external vendors or internal professionals for highly specialized content. This, of course, also applies to all levels in the organizational.
Facebook is one of the many companies that embraces fun and work. Fun also lies to the autocratic culture model, as mentioned before, and is closely related to learning. Happy, or sometimes way defining culture, cultivates a climate of creativity, innovation, and increases productivity. However, office jokes and pranks can lead to damaged relationships between employees, which inevitably will harm the work environment, resulting to weak culture. Facebook thus invests a great amount of time and money resources for ensuring employees behave well in the organization, and this can be accomplished by removing conscious and unconscious biases. This crafts a culture of respect and continuous learning, which supports also fun. Similar to Google, Facebook has a program where feedback is exchanged between peers and executives, thus creating an environment of sharing and influencing. Even before a project begins, teams come together to talk about all the possible ways a project could fail. This exercise is called promoting, and the type of discussion helps normalizing failure by talking about it openly and providing benefits of learning from failure while avoiding the pain of actually failing. How does the idea of creating a space lift that takes you from Earth to space by pushing a button sound? Or how about developing a teleportation apparatus? Do these guarantee a surely failed project? They cannot succeed. We are surely going to fail. But let's try it. We can learn something out of it. This is the way a fail mentality can be cultivated. Anticipating failure or seeking paths and options that can kill our own baby project makes us robust to changes and help us build something better.
Being open with our endeavors and seeking different views to kill our project means that we share all the information we have and engage everyone to become a project killer. This cannot necessarily come from engineering departments, but from other parts of the organization that do things differently. Google rewards failure. If you have the fortitude to come forward and admit that your project fails and stop it, Google will reward you, emphasizing that you can only go forward by failing first and follow up with another endeavor. Some minutes ago, we spoke about the way organizations handle learning collectively and integrate it with their values, objectives, and culture. Now we'll zoom in on how you can cultivate your passion for learning in a personal manner. First of all, you need to be strongly motivated, stay alert, and be aware of your learning preferences and key skills. Furthermore, you can benefit by having many information sources to pick from in order to be able to choose the ones of the highest quality. As soon as you have your prerequisites settled, you need to start from the basics before moving to more specialized or specific knowledge areas. Staying curious and maintaining an open mind will help you identify new areas for your learning targets or new ways to study them. Last but not least, it is very important that you commit to your personal development objectives and find ways to reward yourself and enjoy the whole process. When you are passionate about learning, you inspire and encourage those around you. There are several ways that can help you foster a passion for learning in others, allowing them to enhance their motivation and effectiveness. Regardless of whether you are making leadership decisions, you need to be open about what motivates you, apply your new skills and knowledge, letting others see what you see. This will help your teammates observe how you actually approach personal development. And then, encourage others to also apply the knowledge and skills they acquire. This helps promote continuous learning and further influences collective action. During this process, it is very helpful to have support from the top leadership. Employees need to see their senior leaders embrace learning as an important part of work and the requirement to be successful. At all times, make sure that you recognize the talent around you. When your colleagues demonstrate passion for learning, encourage them to further explore the available sources. Share recommendations for learning opportunities and help them identify new challenges to ensure growth beyond their comfort zones. Most importantly, commit to clear goals for yourself and those who look up to you. This enables you, your team and the organization to measure learning progress and reflect upon the collective capabilities and patterns. On the same time, if it's in your power, provide the required resources people need in their quest for further learning. Some individuals prefer some learning approaches over others. Others prefer a mix of them. Determining your and your team's learning preferences is an important part of developing and feeding a passion for knowledge. It helps define learning objectives and focus your efforts on the types of content that best fit to you. For example, people who learn visually remember information best when it's in the visual form. Videos, pictures, graphs and diagrams are the best means to communicate information to those people. Oral learners prefer learning through audio recordings, audiobooks, podcasts, and other means of auditory communication. Another learning preference is verbal, involving speech and writing. It's an ideal method for those who enjoy reading, writing, and find it easy to express themselves through writing or speaking. There is also physical or hands-on learning. Many people learn best through action and interaction when practicing a new task. Logical learners are usually better at activities involving some kind of analysis. They easily notice patterns and can find correlations between things that initially seem unrelated. Beyond the first ones, it is important to know that there are two broader general categories of learners, social and solitary. Solitary learners prefer opportunities to work, study and learn alone or in private. They are not necessarily introverts, but they learn best when they are alone and undisturbed. Social learners, on the other hand, thrive more through written and verbal communication and learning in a group setting. In any case, we have to underline that the benefits of social learning are observed in modern societies for several centuries, as we can verify with our own experiences in schools, universities, communities and workplaces. Having a growth mindset means always trying to improve yourself. It involves making a conscious decision to grow and develop your skills and intelligence. This is usually accomplished by forming habits that help you anticipate and welcome the effort needed to learn and apply new skills. Learning and growth are not one-time targets. Challenges are the chances we have to move out of our comfort zone, stretch, and grow. People with growth mindset don't just respond well to feedback, they actively look for it. They are not afraid of making mistakes, they constantly experiment and learn, not only from their achievements, but also from their failures. Numerous studies have shown that adopting and utilizing a growth mindset on the job leads to higher levels of engagement and employee satisfaction. As you try to foster a growth mindset at work, you must first be mindful about your own mindset persona. Stay alert for fixed mindset modes of thought and identify your key strengths and weaknesses. Next, you must share your mindset with others. As you discuss and model growth mindset behaviors, it encourages your teammates and associates to recognize their own growth potential. You can and you must take action to give feedback for others' growth. This isn't always easy and in some individuals or cultures doesn't always come naturally. But when you make an effort to constructively provide your feedback, expressing true concern and suggestions for improvement, others will realize that you are motivated by their best interest and they can, in turn, provide the same honest feedback for you. All those aspects will allow you and your team to pursue the common goal of continuous improvement. Encouraging a collective growth mindset lets you accept team challenges as opportunities for growth and will amplify the potential of the whole team.
In conclusion, learning culture should be supported by awareness, goal-based training, and risk-taking.
The latter involves being open to experimentation by activities of failing fast and reflect and have an overwhelming growth mindset.
With such mentality, we can share and influence each other and produce advanced products.
We believe we cannot learn and reach far-fetched ideas or projects if we are not wide open to experimentation.
That's why me and Lampros have tried to do. Did we fail? Probably yes. We're open to your feedback, and then we can envision a skyrocket innovation.